Okay, so I want to draw the back wall here first. This back wall, it looks like the line here, the eye level of the viewer, is about halfway from top to bottom. So this is a 10-foot high, and then it says here, floor plan 10 by 10 by 10, right? You see that right there? So on your sheet of paper, about a third of the way down, make a square box. It's going to be 10 feet high and 10 feet wide. And then I can go right in the middle of the box and say that's 5 feet and draw a line from the right of my page to the left of my page. I'm going to put my vanishing point. Looks like in the example the vanishing point is not in the middle, it's off a little bit to the right. That might make a more interesting view. Let's give it a try. So instead of putting my vanishing point right in the middle this time like I always do, I'm going to come over here just a little bit to the right. I'm going to switch to pen now because I want you guys to learn to draw from start to finish in pen. So I want to show you what that looks like. I have a micron 5 here and a micron 1. Did you guys get a micron 5 in your, was that in the list? Good, okay. All right, so I'm going to use my number 1 first because I want to make light lines. Go over these pencil lines in pen just quickly to get myself caught up. Okay, next step is I go from my vanishing point through the corners of the room to the edge of the paper wherever that hits. When I'm having trouble, it's okay to put another sheet of paper next to it. Go from the vanishing point to the corner and figure out where that's going to hit at the edge of the page like this. But then I want you to move that. I don't want you to use it as a ruler. I just want you to have this point for your eye to go towards because you're more likely to hit it that way, right? This is close enough. I'm not going to worry about that kind of thing. All right, so now I have the back wall of my gallery drawn in. I see here on the floor plan that there's a door in the back. I see these dotted lines. Those are soffits. That's this thing that hangs over the top of the gallery for decoration or air conditioning or something, right? Those come in about a third. Look how they go through when this is X'd off to make this as a half and then this is a half. Actually, they come in a fourth of the way, don't they? So if I wanted to take this back wall and exit here, I'd find the middle, right? I can exit again if I want to, but I can pretty much just say this is the middle and this is the middle. That's where my soffits are going to start. So I'm going to come a fourth of the way in for each one of the soffits. I'm going to draw a line from the vanishing point through each of those marks. That's not where the soffit's going to hang. That's where the soffit's going to hit the ceiling, right? The soffit's going to come down a little bit into the room and connect to the wall like this, isn't it? And then this corner to the vanishing point is where actually I'm going to see the soffit come up here and here and here. So now I'm ready to switch to my number 5 pen. Because I know I'm going to see that and I want to see it. I'm much more confident once I get some lines in there. And then this is going to be my ceiling line, right? My door sits in the middle of the room, so I can bring this line down here to the middle. It's, how wide is the door? 3 feet, right? So I'm going to go about 1.5 feet to the right and 1.5 feet to the left. Well, how far is that? If this is 10 feet across, this is 5. So this is 2.5 and this is 2.5, right? So I'm going to come inside of those a little bit. So it's like about 1 foot. So this is going to be 1.5 approximately. This is going to be approximately 1.5. I'm sketching so I can be a little bit iffy about it. I know it's at least 5 feet tall. Doors are 7 feet, right? So if this is 10 and this is 5, I know this is 7.5, so I'm going to go just below 7.5 for the top of my door. Now that I know where that door is going to be, I'm switching to my number 5 pen because I know I'm going to see it, right? I feel like I made the door kind of big, so I'm going to make the door jamb inside of that line. One way to correct for a little bit of a mistake, right? If I wanted to show some depth in here, I'd draw a line from here towards the vanishing point, from here towards the vanishing point, and I could actually show the third side of that wood. Here I'd go towards the vanishing point to show some depth. Oops, the vanishing point's actually over here, isn't it? So I wouldn't see this part over here because my vanishing point is here, right? So I wouldn't see the inside of this door jamb. I'd actually see the outside of that coming down here just a little bit, something like that. Not very much because my eye's right there. Cool. All right, so here's the door, and I'm going to have the jamb come just a little bit below it. And this is going to be the floor line of my gallery. The handle goes at, do you remember? 3 feet, right? So this is 5. This halfway between there and 5 is 2.5. So I'm going to go just a little bit above that and put a handle on the door. There's a figure drawn in your gallery just to show this is the eye height here, right? If that's my head and I come down here to the floor and I say these are going to be my feet, then I can come halfway between the top and the bottom and say that's going to be my pelvis, my rib cage, and my head needs to be a little bit smaller, doesn't it? Hands happen right here below the hips. You can put an elbow in there if you want to. Good enough for architects, right? There's another door located here. So we need to start getting some depth going on in here, right? We need to figure out where these pedestals hit. So I'm going to come out along this line 10 feet. We know it's 10 feet deep. Here I've got 10 feet. Pinch my pencil at 10 for the width, or pinch my pencil at 10 for the height, and bring that from the corner out to here. Looks like it's going to be about right here. If I want to, I can cheat it in a little bit because I know in perspective things don't, things collapse a little bit, right? Things get smaller as they move into the distance. The floor is going to be a little bit shorter than the height of the wall, that kind of stuff. You can take that into account or not. It'll still work for you because once I get that line drawn across here, I'm going to X cross the floor from corner to corner. This right here is 5 feet and this is 10 feet. If I draw a line from vanishing point through there and I X this off and that off, this is 7.5 and this is 2.5. I know you guys have got some questions. Do you want to unmute your microphones and ask me something? Or how are you doing? You will have this video. I'm recording this, so you can go back and watch this through. Is there anyone who didn't understand how I got 10 7.5, 5, and 2.5. This is all review, right? Come over here and notice that on your floor plan, this opening happens a fourth of the way out this way and a fourth of the way out this way. So it's not a regular 3-foot door like this one is. It's a really wide opening. So it's starting here at 2.5 and it's going out here to 7.5. Well, that's convenient. I can take this line at 2.5 and I can say there's going to be an opening there and it's going to come out here to 7.5. How high is it going to be? 7, same as the other door. So I send a little ant walking from the top of this door over to the corner of the room, right? Once I get to the corner of the room, I'm turning a corner. So in the back of the wall, I'm moving vertically and horizontally, right? That plane moves in 2 dimensions. Now this plane moves in 2 dimensions. They are height and depth, right? So everything on this wall is either going to go up and down or towards the vanishing point. Ceiling goes towards the vanishing point, floor goes towards the vanishing point. This is going up and down. So now I need to find the one that's going to the vanishing point. When I get to this corner, I move away from my vanishing point into the room there to find 7 feet. This is 7 feet. So now I can bring these lines up to that. If I'm not going straight, I probably need to turn my paper a little bit. And there's my second doorway, right? I'm ready to switch to my number 5. You guys might want to switch to your 3 first. And then you can use your number 5 to really say where you meant to go when it's time. But this is an opening. This is not a door. So I'm going to take this line and I'm going to continue on into that room. And I'm just going to show that opening right there. This line got a little crooked. I don't like it. I'm going to make it do a little better. Of course, that changes every other line, so there. All right, I need to put some pedestals on the left side of the room. They sit underneath the window on the center. So I'm coming to the center of my room. I am moving over here. Then I'm going to work, the back pedestal is going to be back here and the front pedestal is going to be out here. Looks like they are, the back one's is bigger. The back one goes back to this 2.5 foot line. So I'm going to bring that 2.5 foot line over here. And my first pedestal is going to sit in here. So that's the footprint for pedestal number 1. The other one's going to come out towards me this way, and it looks like the second pedestal, when I look down at this floor plan, is half the size of the one in front of it. So I'm only going to bring that a little bit out like this. Footprint for pedestal number 2. Next step is to go up. I'm going to come up the wall with all of these lines, and I'm going to come up with these lines that sit in front. I want to make the pedestals, it looks to me like they're a little bit lower than, they're about rib cage height here, right? They look like they're about 3 feet tall. Bottom of the rib cage. This one's probably 2.5 and this one's probably 3, which makes the bottom of my window about, well look, this is 2.5, it says it right here. The window says 7 foot 6 inches. I'm going to make it 7 foot like I did the door. So I'm going to make this 2.5. I'm going to make this 3. I'm going to make this 3.5. Where is that? 2.5 is right here, right? This is 5. So this is 2.5. I'm going to bring that out from the vanishing point along the wall. That's the height of this small pedestal. These 2 lines should meet up on their way to vanishing point. Because I want to see that pedestal that's sitting in front of the other one, I'm going to my number 5 now. I notice as I go in to do this, look at this drawing right here, everyone. This drawing right here, the top of these pedestals, see how these are diverging? You see how these are getting, this line is longer than that line, and these are getting farther and farther apart as they go off in the distance. I need to fix that when I go in with my number 5. So I'm going to take this line and I'm going to keep it because I know that one goes towards that. Oh, look, I'm going towards this point and not that one. That's my problem. So this needs to go sharper down, it seems. And this, actually, I'm going to find my way here. That one feels pretty good. Now I have a pedestal against the wall, and this is shorter here than it is there. So I'm going to get a better grade on my assignment. I'm going over with my number 5, the stuff I want you to see. I now need to take this pedestal and go just a little bit higher. This I've decided is 5. This is 2.5, so I'm going to say 3 is here and 4 is going to be there. I'm going to bring this out for the pedestal. I'm going to bring this out for the window. I'm going to bring my 7 across and then out for the window. I keep using the wrong vanishing point. I need to put a little note here that says this is not my vanishing point. This is my vanishing point. Okay, so this is going to come this way and this way. I'm going to bring this pedestal up higher, and then it's going to come flat out, horizontal. This is going to head towards vanishing point. This is going to head towards vanishing point until it meets that, and then this is going to go horizontal across there. This is going vanishing point there. That's my second pedestal. My window sits above them. It goes from about here, it seems like, to in here. And if I wanted to show depth in the window, then I'd go horizontally here and horizontally here. I'm not going to see this end of the window because I'm standing out here, right? So this is going to be a line right next to that. This is going to be a line right next to that. And this is going to be a line going vertically connecting those two. That's going to show some depth in the window. I will see this corner wall, so I'm going to draw that in. And that's a pretty good 1-point example of your homework.